Here in Gold Country, in California's Sierra Nevada foothills, the nights are getting longer and colder, and it's a great time to catch up on some reading, which is exactly what I plan to do in the coming season. I'm going to recommend a Liberty reading list, and if you have any care or concerns at all for what it takes to maintain a free and prosperous society, I recommend that you familiarize yourself with some of these books I'm about to recommend. Since these books are about freedom, economics, and political theory, none of them are bestsellers. You will not find these at the mall. None of them have been a source of inspiration for an action-adventure film, and not a single one of them is the subject of a video game. You're going to have to find these books online, but I know that you know your way around the internet, and you can find these at places like Amazon.com, the wonderful store at Mises.org, that's M-I-S-E-S, or you can look up the Freedom Library down in Arizona. You'll find them on Google. I have a bunch of books I have not yet read, and I will share those titles with you later. But right now I'd like to share some books that were very inspiring to me in the past season, and I hope you get a chance to familiarize yourself with these ones. Good to Be King by Michael Badnarik is a tremendous read. If you see anything wrong at all with the political situation in the United States over the last decade, whether it's the mainstream Democrats or Republicans, you will find this take by Badnarik extremely refreshing. He talks about how we have strayed dangerously far from basic law and the rights we have in our Constitution. Badnarik is a very, very refreshing writer. The next two books are very similar. Thomas DiLorenzo's How Capitalism Saved America was insightful to me in its description and depiction of what happened at the end of the 19th century in the government's breakup of the great industrialists who ran the oil companies and railroads. Now, previously I'd learned about this through my public schooling, and consider what I learned in public school was very different from what this book portrays. Public school was funded by the government, and my teachers were union members. Think about that. Another book that's similar is FDR's Folly by Jim Powell. And this book is very critical of how Roosevelt's policies and interventions with the economy during the Great Depression made it longer, deeper, and worse. In all fairness to the Democrats, the book is also very critical of Herbert Hoover, who was a Republican president at the time of the stock market crash in 1929. The book is also very critical of the Smoot-Hawley tariff in 1930 that launched an international trade war through its protectionist position and really set the stage for World War II. Another book I really liked is The Law by Frederic Bastiat. This book was written around 1850, and he's a French political theorist, and I know as a Republican I'm embarrassed, or I should be embarrassed to say that I've been reading French political philosophy, but what I get out of this book is very important. This book is a criticism of socialism and statist positions before any of these policies took root in any actual governments around the world. I have two brand new books by Bastiat, a collection put out by the Mises Institute. These are newly translated from French. I'm greatly looking forward to reading these ones. I also have The Betrayal of the American Right by Murray Rothbard. Rothbard was a great political writer of the 20th century, and he was very inspirational to the sort of writings we see today at LouRockwell.com. Previously, I've read a bunch of letters, essays, and other short writings by Rothbard. I've never read an entire book. I look forward tremendously to this one. I also have The Anti-Capitalistic Mentality by Ludwig von Mises. Mises was a very important mind in the Austrian School of Economics, and that was a very important part of Ron Paul, the presidential candidate's economic framework. You should know this man's work. Also, I have The Fatal Conceit, The Errors of Socialism by F.A. Hayek. I have never read Hayek before, but I've been studying a lot online about 20th century economists, and his name constantly comes up, so I'm looking forward to learning about his positions. Now, I would love to hear from you and any books you might recommend for me to read. You can reach me through my website at Terbocongress.org. Thanks for listening. I'm Theodore Turbolizard.